Yes to that one.
You got the,
Six and a half, 2.5. Yeah, we got
my brother's is fast. Oh my God, it's just like,
stuck in the and we're done.
No more speaking?
no,
They say it's exponential.
no, it's just my nose.
No? It's easier.
No, I tried.
I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
I think personally, zero to one.
Yeah, right, because we didn't know what we were doing.
And your life might change.
Right.
Once your life has changed,
Parents.
we're not going from cocktails to dinner.
And,
Or
and you know when to call the doctor. The first one, it was like we didn't. You're like, we have two.
which is less insane than sex.
But there is zero.
But I said to my wife, but so once and a lap had a setup, throw one more in the middle.
Right.
She's in first grade. She's 6.5. I get hip hop. No, daddy. I get. It's funny because she's not like totally committed though to that the attitude yet because she's in first grade. So I said to her, "This is because she heard me on Zoom. I never stories of mine. So I'll go into class. It's okay, Daddy. I'll ask you at home tonight. And at the same time, I take her to school on Wednesday last week. And it's
Shabbat Shalom. How are you? I haven't seen you.
so I walk in like 20 minutes, right? But her friends are all in Spain.
Just came home, actually. Well, she came home for Thanksgiving and she went back to Atlanta after spent 12 weeks in road back.
So, by the way, and don't, let's not even think about like asking she's coming on demand. So, close. Absolutely. We obviously can't wait to make it.
And that's why I'm upset.
Yeah, they probably like it. They did actually bring Jeeps. So obviously council, the yard is supposed to because the people that care about waiting for 10 people also play this. I think.
Like that one?
I would probably skew the situation. Because it's the same way I feel by the way now. It's very but service is both which makes sense. However, my opinion is that's crazy. He's dead, and she's Jewish, and she gets to say Kaddish for her husband.
Ron,
If the Jewish partner dies, or it's not a Jewish one,
Ron
you're
said
supposed to say Kaddish. I can that make the case that you should. But I'm not going to tell the Jews I'm Jewish.
Stan speaks no more than 10 minutes. It doesn't say Hannah, no more. Steve, no. Stan, no more than. What does that mean? No, it means no.
I still remember looking at to a knife shop really years ago. Explaining this insane thing very expensive.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Shabbat Shalom. And Happy Hanukkah, as we say in America. Happy Hanukkah. The 6th candle tonight. And we're going to be inviting up those young at heart to help us light the Hanukkah candles in just a little bit. Right? Yeah. Yeah. It's okay.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So funny.
I think they heard you.
I saw people. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everyone. There we go. I see people, but yet no sound. The mask doesn't prevent sound, just so you know, if you're wearing
That's
one.
right.
Let's try again. Shabbat Shalom. That's more better, right?
It's more better.
More better. So lovely to all be together on this Shabbat of Hanukkah. Let's take just a minute before we begin. Turn to someone sitting in your neighborhood, preferably someone who you didn't come here with. Introduce yourself. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom.
And then candles.
Also take just a minute, reach into your handbag, reach into your coat pocket, take out your cell phones, and make sure that they're turned off. Not on silent, not on vibrate, but powered all the way off so that we can all sit, enjoy, be here together. A special welcome to everybody who's with us from home or from wherever you are. We're happy you're here with us too, even if not in person. We'll begin this evening on page 10 for those here with a prayer book with the words of Hine Matov, how good, how wonderful it is that we can sit and be together.
הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב, הנה מה טוב, לה 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 לה. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. הנה מה טוב ומנעים, שבת אחים גם יחד. We're going to turn to page 16. We introduced this new setting of the second half of Psalm 98, but on page 16. So many of our psalms instruct us through beautiful sacred poetry to sing, and to sing again, and to play musical instruments again and again. Sing to God, to make music to God, even to dance before God. How the ancient rabbis had it wrong when they constructed laws, halachot, to prohibit the use of musical instruments on Shabbat, which had been the practice in the ancient temple for 1,000 years. So we're back, and we sing, and we make beautiful music to God. So, page 16, it's just the first couple of lines. Zamru l'Adonai b'chinor, sing praise to God with the lyre or harp, right? With the lyre and beautiful song, and even with trumpets and the blast of the horn. We shout before God. We shout out song. And then the beautiful poetry that gives human qualities to inhuman things like the sea. The sea should roar praise to God, right? And the rivers clap their hands. Beautiful. Let's join together. Zarmal Adonai, it has a refrain, which means it repeats a lot, and you get to learn it this way. If you don't know the words, just make up a vowel. Sing along.
Continue with the lighting of our Hanukkah as well as our Shabbat candles. Quick trivia question, which do we light first? Raise your hand if you think Shabbat candles. Raise your hand if you think Hanukkah candles. Oh.
The Hanukkah candles
Correct.
are
Can't agree.
correct. Are correct. Why, though?
Why? Sukasa. Correct. Ignoring the fact that the sun went down an hour and a half ago. Once you light the Shabbat candles, it's Shabbat and you're not supposed to strike a match or light anything else, so we light the Hanukkah first, then the Shabbat candles. And here's a random question.
Yes?
Can you use the Shamash candle to light the the Shabbat candles?
No.
No. Because we are prohibited from using the Hanukkah for anything practical.
That's right.
We're meant to simply enjoy the light. And the last trivia piece here before we actually light our candles is that from your perspective at the moment, we're going to change this, the Hanukkah is actually arranged incorrectly. Candles are backwards, right? We put the candles in from left to right, but we light them from right to left. People always get confused. You put them in from right to left, but you light them from left. Sorry, you put them in from right to left. You light them from left to right. So you light tonight's candle first, and then work your way backwards.
We love
Hang on,
that
Ellie.
debate, right? The Talmudic debate between the house of Hillel and Shammai, right?
Ellie. Why do we need lights in Hanukkah? Anybody want to answer that? No. Lots of different answers, but I'll give one. Anybody know what Wednesday was? The winter solstice. Thank you, Rabbi Davids. They teach you that in rabbinical school? The winter solstice, the day with the fewest number of daylight hours, the most hours of darkness, the darkest day of the year. Hanukkah always falls right around the winter solstice, at the darkest time of year. Hanukkah is about bringing more light into our lives, into our world at a time of year that can be so dark, can be cold, which is one of the reasons we light Hanukkah lights. And it's one of the reasons given, for those who didn't read last week's Shabbat message, one of the reasons given for the fact that there are 6 candles, 7 plus the Shamash, in the Hanukkah tonight, as opposed to just 2. Right? Because Shammai thought that we ought to start on the first night with 8 candles, take 1 candle away each night, like a countdown, end up with none, which those of us who were at Torah study today were talking about. It makes sense, logically. Hillel says, no, we should start with 1 candle, add a candle each night. And ultimately, the reason that the rabbis give for that is that we always want to increase light. We want to increase and ascend in matters of holiness. We never want to take light out of the world. We always want to add more light to the world. So with that, we're going to turn it around first. Then we're going to light our Hanukkah, then our Shabbat candles. And why don't we invite, I was going to say kids, anyone who has a parent here tonight to come up, because maybe,
That's
Asher, I
good.
was thinking of you.
I like that.
So, kids and Asher, to come. Ellie, come on, kid.
I'm not so sure Asher was ever really a kid. I think he's been mature
Asher,
since he was
in fairness, Asher was not a kid at 11 and a half when he walked into my office to start preparing for his bar mitzvah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu leharik ner shel Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim l'avoteinu bayamim hahem b'zman And now a little Ma'ost Sur and Rock of Ages, of course, right? I'm sure there is. 365. Ma'osu Yeshuati Lekara el Shabbat Tikon Beit Finati V'sham Toda Nizabeach Yetachin Matbeach Mitzar Amnabeach Az et mor b'shir mizmor Kanu katam mizbeach Az et mor b'shir mizmor Kanu katam mizbeach Praise thy saving power. Thou amidst the raging foes wast our shattering tower. Furious they assailed us, but thine arm availed us, and thy word broke the sword when our own strength failed us, and thy word broke the sword when our own strength failed us. And now we light our Shabbat candles. We'll sing them all together.
Okay.
You light them.
Okay.
Start that first candle. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu להדליק נר של שבת.
We'll turn now to page 20 and continue with Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. 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 שמור וזכור ודיבור אחד, השביענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, השם ותפארת ותהילה. לך אדוני, לך Dodi לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. lecha Dodi לקראת קהלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה. ראש מקדם לסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לחדתי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, לחדתי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה. Verse 5. התעוררי, התעוררי, כי בעורק קומי, אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. לך אדוני, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה, לך אדוני לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. We greet the Sabbath bride as we turn and face the door. בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה ובצהלה, תוך אמוני עם סגולה. בואי חלה, בואי חלה, אדוני, חדתי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה, חדתי לקראת כלה, בני שבת נקבלה.
Remain standing, turn to page 26 for Chatzi Kaddish.
יתקדש ונתקדש מרבה, בעלמד יברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי, בחייכם וביומכם ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגלה, בגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יש מרבה מברך, ואדם מולל בעלמיה, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה, ויתהלל שמי לקודשה. בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושיערתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
Turn the page for the Baruch. Let's join together the English in the middle of page 30. Blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan.
You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tsevaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai,
who brings on the evening.
Elechai v'kayam tamid. Amari Varavim. We join in Ahavat Olam on page 32. The Torah is God's gift of love. Ahavat Olam et Yisrael Amcha Torah u'mitzvot chukim u'mishpatim otanu limadta al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbenu v'kumenu na'asiyach b'chukecha al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shokbenu v'kumenu na'asiyach b'chukecha v'nitzmach בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי חיינו לאור ימינו ובהם נגיע בלילה. כי חיינו לאור ימינו ובהם נגיע בלילה. אורך ימינו ובהם נגע יום הלילה. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נגע יום הלילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. Baruch atah Adonai Ohev Amo Yisrael Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kavod מלכותו לעולם ועד.
Can be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברתם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
Continue on page 40 with our song of redemption, Mi Chamocha.
And tonight we'll sing it in a familiar tune. Mi chamocha, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ויאמרו, אדוני מלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, הוא יעלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up waiting to do your will.
Baruch atah Adonai, haporei sukat shalom, aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael, Yerushalayim. Amen. We join in Vishamru, page 44. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asot et ha-Shabbat לדורותם ברית העולם. ושמרו ביני ובין בני ישראל, בני ישראל אותי לעולם. ושמרו כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Continue with the Amidah, page 46, and we rise.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehillatcha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח ומוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו בשני עפר. מי כמוך בגבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה. ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל.
We continue with the remainder of our Amidah silently through page 62, either with the words on the pages of the prayer book or the words of our hearts.
We close the Amidah on page 60, our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Lekolam. Shalom Rav.
We take a moment amidst our joy and our celebration on this Shabbat to think of loved ones, family members, members of our community who are in need of healing, in need of wholeness. In just a moment, in the middle of page 253, we'll offer a Misha Berach, a prayer of healing for them. Tonight we're thinking of Nicole Alkoff, Emily Blau, Jacob Friedman, Merlot Gadushi, Levi Jonathan, James Klein, Cindy Leader, Michael Levi, Michael Levy, Ronald Lanicki, Philip Marber, Annette Pansky, Trevor Sangster, Charles Schwartz, Karen Shanbrum, Alan Sorority, and Robin Vogel. There's someone in your life who could use a bit of healing, a bit of wholeness. If you're here with us in the room, I invite you to rise now, and as my eyes meet yours, share that name aloud. If you're with us online, you can share that name in the chat. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Hag Sameach. I was thinking about what I wanted to share tonight as we're in the midst of Hanukkah. And I came across a contemporary midrash, a modern midrash that one of my teachers and dear friends, Rabbi Mark Gelman, penned. He's published many collections of modern midrashim that, if you're interested in, are some of the finest. But this one imagines in Rabbi Gelman's mind that there was a problem lighting the very first Chanukiah. And the problem, he imagines, was that everyone wanted to light it. But of course, there were only 8 lights. The Maccabee soldiers said, "We won the war of freedom. Soldiers are the most important." So the Maccabee soldiers lit the first light on the first Hanukkah. Then the other priests from the tribe of Levi said, "We are the ones who take care of the menorah. Priests are the most important," so the priests lit the second light. Then the oil makers said, "We make the oil for the lights. Without us, you have nothing to light." So oil makers are the most important. So the oil makers lit the third light on the first Hanukkah. Then the farmers said, after we light the menorah, we will go home and eat latkes. We grow the potatoes for the latkes. Farmers are the most important. So the farmers lit the fourth light on the first Hanukkah. Then the beekeepers said, food comes from plants, and plants come from flowers, and bees make food for flowers, so beekeepers are the most important. So they lit the fifth light on the very first Hanukkah. Well, then the teachers said, nobody will know what the menorah means and what Hanukkah means if we don't teach them. Teachers are the most important. So the teachers lit the sixth candle on the very first Hanukkah. And then the tailors said, well, we can't have a naked Hanukkah. We make the clothes and the underpants for everyone. Tailors are clearly the most important people in the world. So the tailors lit the seventh light on the very first Hanukkah. And then the shepherds said, well, where do you think the tailors get the thread to make the cloth, to make the clothes and the underpants? They get it from wool, and the wool comes from the sheep, and we take care of the sheep and gather their wool, so we shepherds are the most important. And so the shepherds lit the eighth light on the first Hanukkah. The 8 lights of the first menorah were beautiful, but the people were not happy because they were all arguing about who was the most important. That is exactly the moment when Hannah, who was the daughter of Matityahu, who was the father of the Maccabees, shouted, hey, everybody stop arguing. Stop yelling. All you can see is your own light on your own branch of the menorah, and that is just plain wrong. We need soldiers to keep us safe, and priests to help us pray, and teachers to teach us the meaning of Hanukkah. We need the oil makers and the farmers and the beekeepers to get us food. We need the shepherds and the tailors to make us clothes. Every one of you is the most important. So let us look at the menorah in a slightly different way. And then Hannah turned the Chanukiah sideways. She turned the Chanukiah sideways, and what people saw then was not 8 separate lights, 8 separate branches, but one single brighter light burning together. The people were happy. They cheered for Hannah, and that is why there is a 9th candle on the Hanukkah menorah. That 9th candle is used to light all the other lights. It's supposed to remind us that every light is important, and every person is important. And if we turn the menorah just the right way, we will see that one brighter light is better than 8 separate lights. The 9th light is called the Shamash, which means the helping light. The first idea was to call it Hannah's light, but Hannah did not want to have her name on it. She didn't think that she was that important. Hannah just wanted to make all the other lights glow. So this Hanukkah, in these final few nights as we light our Chanukiah, let's think of Hannah's light. And let's do our best to remember that everyone is important, that no branch is more important than any other, and that maybe the best way to remind ourselves of that is to turn our Chanukiah sideways. And then instead of separate lights, we can all see the single, brighter light. Hannah would certainly be happy if we did that. And I'd venture to say God would too. Hanukkah Sameach, Shabbat Shalom. We will turn now. Any announcements, Cantor Gurney?
Oh, I can't think of one in this moment.
You're benching Hallel tomorrow morning?
We will be here next Friday.
Black tie. All right. With that, we'll turn to page 282. Page 282, the bottom of the page, will rise for Aleinu.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, ונאמר היה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Can be seated. We turn our thoughts now to sacred moments of memory, moments of Kaddish as we think of loved ones and family members of our community who are no longer with us. If you're here tonight to say Kaddish for a loved one, we ask that you rise at this time. We begin by thinking of those for whom we're in a period of Shloshim, those who have died during these past 30 days, as we call to mind Rocio Delgadillo, Charles Dolinger, Linda Friedman, Robert Katsky, Dorothy Koenig, Ezra Cohen, Moshe Shopson, Norman Siegel, Stanley Stogel, Elaine Wexler, Jacqueline Weinberg, and Sidney Weinberg. We add to their names the names of those whose yahrzeits occurred during this past week: William Adelman, Don Adlin, Bella Adler, Albert Allen, Talia Arnovitz, Anna Barbanel, Howard Bash, Ralph Binder, Alexander Braun, Katerina Braun, and Betty Brody, Alina Berg, Emmanuel Burton, Coronado Acevedo Cardenas, Rona Chorna, Benjamin Code, Robert Cohen, Dora Cohen, Gussie Dancer, Morris Danzinger, Penrose Desser, Sherry DeVries, Samuel Doro, Jenny Doro, Alan Eppenstein, Robert Farkas, Eve Feinberg, Saul Feinstein, Jeffrey Feldman, Marion Fishman, Elizabeth Flesh, Harold Florence, David Foster, Rudolph Fox, Betty Frankel, Stuart Friedman, Richard Friend, Arthur Gardner, Nejatola Gadoshin, Guilford Glazer, David Golad, Phyllis Goldklang, Richard Goldman, Minna Goldman, Mary Gordon, Henrietta Gorlick, William Gray, Joel Greenberg, Helene Hansen, William Heller, Darrell Hirsch, Louis Hyman, Ruth Jameson Fine, Anita Carl, Philip Kend, Rachel Kossower, Lenore Kramer, Burton Kurtzman, Marilyn Langsam, Aaron Lassick, Charles Levison, Max Levine, William Lewis, Jack Lipson, Oscar Lozabnik, Mildred Marmer, Edgar Marks, Fritz Mayer, Zachary Meadow, Nathan Marin, Asher Miskanian, Stanley Meyer, Lynn Miller, Kurt Myers, Milance Nazakov, Don Nathanson, Melissa Neely, Samuel Newman, Lillian Opper, Erna Ornstein, Jeanette Pastor, Herbert Polsky, Hannah Price, Hazel Quick, Boris Ratner, Philip Rouse, Lee Reinman, Robert Robbins, Mayor Rolfe, Stephanie Rosenblum, Dessa Ross, Marion Ruvelson, Jamie Schaefer, Irving Schallman, George Schulman, Harry Seagal, Arnold Seidel, Martin Seiler, Leonard Schaefer, Benjamin Shapiro, Dorothy Silverstein, Saul Skolnick, Nathan Smook, David Sprung, Marion Steinberg, Rose Steinberg-Frankel, Susan Turk, Faye Vigon, Sydney Wax, Leon Wachtman, Lisa Walder, Benjamin Barry Ward, Sam Weissman, Shalom Wiseman, Daniel Weeder, Sheila Wayne, David Wolf, Betsy Wollner, Joshua Young, Merle Young, Murray Zachary, and Joel Zucker. If there are names to add or a name that I've mispronounced, please feel free to add it at this time. We also call to mind those to whom we are grateful but do not know, those who have fallen defending the flags of the United States of America, the State of Israel, all the innocent victims of senseless terrorism and violence all over the world, and everyone who has no one to say Kaddish for them. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always be for a blessing. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 294. We rise. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'alma divrach chilutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechol v'yomechon, v'chayei techol Beit Yisrael, ba'agalav v'zman kariv v'yimeru, amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yithalal, shemei rekusha b'richu. Eila min kol birchata v'shirata, tushpechata v'nechamata, da'amiran ba'alma v'imeru, amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, amen. Oseh shalom imrama, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imeru, amen. Oseh shalom imrama, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. 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 Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Borei peri agafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu, v'shabar kodsho v'ahava u'ratzon inchilanu, zikaron le'maseh bereshit, ki hu yom techilah למקראי קודש, זכר יציאת מצרים, כי באנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים.
That's a funny tasting grape juice. Baruch atah Adonai